Here's what it's like. Not super suits, not cross-examinations. It's boring. It's us sitting there working on the tedium and finding where the comma goes on the paper and working on the brief that's 48 pages long that has to be reduced to 20 pages. And then a telephone call comes. A telephone call comes that said, don't interrupt me, please don't interrupt me, I'm working on this. Oh, but Sunsaray needs your help. Who's that? You take the telephone call, you start listening to a voice at the other end of the line, and I heard her voice, and I could hear it now today, saying, I need help, and I need someone to come over to my house to help me. And I had no idea that when I got to her house, that we were going to be able to work to change and essentially save her life. That is what justice looks like.
Justice only has meaning if it serves people.
Justice is searching for the gold. We typically represent the individual against a business entity. And so the gold is hard to find, but it requires perseverance.
Every one of the cases we handle is more dramatic than a movie. They're real emotions, real people. This client named Sunsaray, she was injured in an automobile collision. We gathered all the information we could to find out who was at fault. And we kept up to date on her medical information, but her medical information wasn't making sense. She was having blackouts. She was having periods of time where she couldn't remember where she was. She was becoming volatile. She was becoming emotionally unpredictable. So we went and got her examined, and they said she has a brain injury and she has seizures as a result of this case.
This is not just a small snippet in someone's life. This is their entire life. When the case file is closed, their injury, their loss is going to continue to affect them forever. And you can't look at a case as if it's going to be wrapped up in a pretty bow at the end of a 2-hour movie. You have to make sure that you are taking into account the future that the client has in front of them.
And so now we have this situation where it didn't occur right away, and we have the insurance company not saying no, but hell no. We will not allow you ever to be able to put it in front of a jury on this case. What do we do? Put together the resources of what we have of 8-9 lawyers working in our firm, 15 dedicated staff members who are going to push this thing forward, and we did what we do, always, gather the storm.
We fight for what the client wants. It's the client who drives how we handle their case.
When I needed legal services, I had a great experience. It was just very personable, very warm and friendly and matter of fact, and I walked away feeling that I could not have hoped for a better outcome.
There's cases where the defense will get one doctor who'll say your client's not injured. There's cases where they'll get 2 doctors. In this case, they had assembled 5 different doctors. It was going to be a fight. It was going to be difficult. Nothing upsets me more than when the defense attorney tells us our client has a fake case and patronizes us with their sweeping imagination of a grand victory on their part. Bring that on.
When I hear an injustice, it gets me fired up because it's usually someone more powerful picking on someone who's vulnerable.
My dad's an attorney in Ohio, and there are times I just say, Dad, this is so damn tough. Why does everyone else seem to have easier cases than I have? He says, do you believe her? Yes. Then you can't give up.
To me, a cause that's worth fighting for is a cause that other people are unwilling to fight for, because that truly means that someone who's in need of help has not been able to find someone to be their champion.
When a client comes to see us, our job is to be able to tell their story and to figure out how to do that creatively so other people understand what has happened to them, what's going to happen to them, and how it's affected their lives.
When it came time to be able to present to the doctors, you had to understand what a seizure was. So I went to the doctor's house. I went and had dinner with him. dinner with him and his kids, and he started to explain the medicine, and I didn't get it. And I knew if I didn't get it, the jury wasn't going to get it. So finally, he just looked at me from across the dinner table and said, "Let me explain this to you as I would my kid's 6th grade class." I said, "Now we're talking. Now we're on my level." And he went and explained that. And I said, "That's what we're going to do to the jury. We're going to show it just like that because I get it now." And it worked.
Every lawyer here is willing to look at a case from a creative angle and try to find conventional and also unconventional ways to help the client solve a problem.
The art of the law is finding the client's story and telling that story so that their voice can be heard when they are unable to speak for themselves.
So we concluded the trial, got done with the evidence, and then you sit and you wait. And frankly, sometimes you work as hard as you can and then you pray too. And they start ringing off the numbers. The first number comes back with hundreds of thousands of dollars, the economic damages. Then the non-economic damages comes back with hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then the last number, where it's well over $1 million. And Sunsaray then looks at me and says, "They believed us. Thank God they believed us. Greg, thank you for believing in me."